Right now at 11, we're following up on Vancouver's first shooting involving police this year with a suspect dead and 3 officers now on leave. Plus,
I know there's got to be a solution, but I don't know what it is.
why the latest efforts to smooth out the so-called bump have now forced drivers to slow to nearly a crawl. And later, from Eugene to Miami, how the Oregon Ducks are staying sharp, working on a tight turnaround and no home field advantage. But first to our top story, and a deadly and what appears to be unsolved shooting this holiday week in a busy stretch of downtown Portland. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Joe Ranieri's in the newsroom after following up with police and neighbors. And Joe, at this point, sounds like one man dead, another injured, and no suspect.
That's right, David. And this all happened, and there was still a good crowd along Southwest Ankeny Street around 11:45 last night. Despite dozens of people witnessing the shooting, no one's been arrested yet. Outside Voodoo Donuts, a small memorial grew for the victim who was shot and killed late Sunday night.
Sorry to hear it.
With balloons, roses laid out along the sidewalk, a few people walked by to pay their respects by lighting candles. The shooting happened on Southwest Ankeny Street in downtown Portland. Some, like John Hex, aren't surprised by the shooting.
It seems to be some of the things that go on down here. I just missed a stabbing a few weeks ago, a few blocks over.
Portland police say 2 people were shot. One man was found dead at the scene while another person was taken to the hospital. Nearly a day after the shooting, you could still see evidence markers that show where several rounds were shot. Many hitting Luna Bar, which sits right across the way from the popular Voodoo Donuts.
There is so much, bad element down here with, unfortunately, still the homelessness and the drugs.
Despite the shooting, Hex, who says he comes to downtown Portland a couple of times a week to eat at Dan and Louie's Oyster Bar, isn't going to let this stop him from visiting his favorite spot.
It won't keep me from not coming down here. I love the downtown. I'm trying to be supportive and, get as positive a view on it as I can.
He knows while things haven't been great in parts of the city,
it's certainly better than it was, say, last year or 2 years ago. So, that's the good thing.
Things are slowly getting better. No word on the condition tonight of the other person who was shot. Portland police told me they aren't releasing any more information on the shooting yet as this investigation continues. David, back to you.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the follow-up tonight. In an update, Portland police are also looking for help finding this man who they say stabbed 2 people on Christmas Eve. This was breaking news on KGW. Authorities say 54-year-old Richard Scott Stewart first stabbed a 20-year-old in the neck near the Hollywood Fred Meyer, and then shortly after, and less than a mile away, they allege he stabbed a 67-year-old man in the neck and head. Both victims survived and are now out of the hospital. Police say the suspect may be using public transportation. Anyone who sees him should immediately call 911. In Washington tonight, investigators are asking for your help after Vancouver police shot and killed a man over the weekend. When police responded to the home on Northeast 46th Street and 132nd just before midnight on Saturday, they say a man was outside pointing a gun at a woman inside the home and had fired at least 1 round. Authorities say the man then turned the gun on police. 2 officers then shot and killed him.
I thought I heard shots, but I don't know. It sounded like 22s.
When you heard that an officer shot and killed someone in your neighborhood, what did you think?
I was very shocked and very surprised, and I was very concerned for my safety.
Well, 3 Vancouver officers, including an officer who was a witness, are now on what's called critical incident leave as the state's Office of Independent Investigations, the OII, reviews the case. Any witnesses or anyone with information is asked to call the OII at the tip line right here on your screen. Let's take you outside now on this Monday night with a bit of a chilly start to this holiday week. So cold in some spots, the communities have once again opened emergency shelters. Chief Meteorologist Matt Savino is here with your first forecast. So Matt, how is tomorrow looking?
Tomorrow's looking a lot like today. We had a cold morning and a really great afternoon. Up at the Oregon Zoo right now, the Christmas lights still illuminated. Notice these big ornaments are kind of swaying a little bit in the breeze. The east winds have really taken over. They're light up at the zoo, but it's already down to 39 degrees there. And the wind gusts out of the gorge have been impressive. Gusts of 61 miles an hour at Corbett, 60 miles an hour at Crown Point. Troutdale, 46. You can see the West Hills and the Glen Jackson Bridge about 30 miles an hour. So it's been a good steady east wind. We still have it. That does us the favor of keeping us from having fog forming in the western valleys, at least in the Portland area. And it'll also keep our temperatures a little bit elevated compared to what they would be if there was no wind. So we'll drop to about 36 in Portland, but if there's no wind in your area, especially if you're outside of the city, then you'll easily drop to the upper 20s. So we'll go for about 36, 37 in the morning. Frost pretty widespread in the valley, not so much fog, but frost. Otherwise sunny into the mid 40s tomorrow. Now, what about rain? Well, we're done with rain for 2025, but it comes back on New Year's Day. I'll let you know what part of New Year's Day in a bit, David.
Thanks, Matt. We'll see you then. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, in response to colder temperatures, warming shelters are once again open in Clark, Cowlitz, and Clackamas counties. They include Living Hope Church in Vancouver, the Kelso Christian Academy, and Father's Heart Ministry in Oregon City. Now, thresholds have not been met in Multnomah County, which requires forecast temperatures at or below 25 degrees and or some combination of rain, wind, and snow. Legacy Health adds striking workers that include nurse practitioners and physician associates are set to return to mediation tomorrow. That's after the workers, known as advanced practice providers, rejected a tentative agreement saying it did not measure up to other local health systems and could drive turnover. Their strike began on December 2nd and will continue, the union says, with daily pickets. And in Washington, D.C., the man accused of killing a National Guard soldier and injuring another last month appeared before a federal judge. 29-year-old Ramanullah Lochinwall, an Afghan national who lives in Bellingham, faces multiple federal firearm charges along with assault and first-degree murder. According to an affidavit, a witness telling police the suspect wanted a gun for protection while working as a driver for Uber and Lyft. It says the witness gave him a revolver that Lochinwall then allegedly used to carry out the shootings. A criminal complaint says the gun was reported stolen in Seattle in 2023. The affidavit does not give a motive. The suspect's next appearance is scheduled for mid-January. It's a new video tonight of the infamous bump along Highway 26 near the coast, which according to ODOT is no longer a single trouble spot, but a series of 4 bumps. And as Libby Dowsett and dozens upon dozens of drivers found out, it appears the only quick fix might just be slowing down.
ODOT had already lowered the speed to 25 miles per hour. Now they've gone even further to 5 miles per hour, hoping to prevent drivers from hitting this problem spot and catching air.
This one, it's real. It's really a bump.
Local drivers like Becky Varner from Astoria know to slow down at the bump, but she says many others either aren't seeing the new signs or aren't taking them seriously.
We've seen their tires come off the ground and kind of land a little sideways.
ODOT crews just repaired this area in August, improving the drainage and smoothing out the rough spots. But with all the recent rain, ODOT says the slide has been reactivated, and now multiple spots of pavement are moving and creating bumps.
Because of all of that water, and that is a known landslide area, and all that water has to go somewhere, and it's just pushing the road up.
Like, we saw the guys working there. That was the indicator something's going on. But I feel like they should do a little bit of a better job to have like a warning signs.
We counted half a dozen signs leading up to this point, warning drivers to slow down. But we gotta say, we've seen a few cars catch air, especially as they head eastbound right at this point. With no project planned for a permanent fix, ODOT says it's forced to keep the signs up and make repairs when it can as they brace for more rain in the forecast.
And we hope everybody will pay attention to the trip check and the warnings, and maybe even use an alternate route if they're trying to get to the coast from Portland.
I know there's got to be a solution, but I don't know what it is other than building a bridge over it.
ODOT says the movement in this area is happening as fast as crews can keep up with repairs, and they say a permanent fix could cost millions and millions of dollars. So they say keep a close eye on those signs. Near Seaside, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
I feel like we've all hit that one a little too fast, right? We know one of the other major routes of the coast, Highway 6 to Tillamook, is still down to 1 lane in the Glenwood area. We checked in with ODOT, and they do not have a timeline on when repairs will be finished. Crews are working to remove material and stabilize things. They're asking drivers to take an alternate route if at all possible. Well, speaking of getting around, in an update, opponents of several new transportation taxes and fees passed by Oregon lawmakers this year say they turned in additional signatures today in order to give voters the final say next November. We got some video of their first so-called special delivery earlier this month. With today's drop-off, they say more than 250,000 Oregonians signed the petition to put the issue on the November ballot. That's triple the number needed. It means the taxes included in that referendum are now on hold. They include a gas tax hike, a payroll tax hike, an increased vehicle title fee, and increased vehicle registration fee. The rest of the transportation package will go into effect on Thursday. And while we're talking about gas, here's a look at where things stand. Oregon averaging $3.46, the fifth highest in the country. Washington, $3.89. Only California and Hawaii are higher. The national average, by the way, at $2.82.